Hi, welcome once again to our video presentation, and this is the second video of our Alkaline Water Benefits series and part 2, and the second video is on understanding our body. Now, how our body handles cellular metabolic waste will be discussed in this video, and we're going to look at the amazing design of our body and the way it deals with the acidic wastes. Now, first of all, our body is actually designed to be robust and actually comes with a natural defensive system or the ability to deal with substances that damage the body system. However, if you consistently and over long run abuse the body without considerable or prudent care, that can produce all kinds of health problems and diseases. If we actually take reasonably good care of our body, we will be rewarded with a decent longevity as well as good health, void of unnecessary suffering. The body actually is built with various waste disposal systems so that it can flush out all these harmful wastes in the form of solid, liquid, and even gas. Okay. Now, solid waste, as we know from previous video as well, that the solid unwanted substances are actually expelled from the body through bowel movement, and that is in the form of stool. And in the stool, there is a small amount of liquid waste, but the majority of the liquid wastes are actually primarily expelled through other systems, which we will look at. Now let's look at our skin. The skin is actually the largest organ of our body, and we perspire when the weather is hot or the environment is hot. Now the sweat that comes out through perspiration is actually acidic. Why? Because the acidic waste actually goes into the sweat, and this is actually an important, a significant channel to get rid of acidic wastes from the body. Now, apart from getting rid of acidic waste, the sweat also helps cool our body so that to maintain a normal body temperature under extremely hot or warm environments. Now, the acidic waste also can kill the bacteria or virus that is attached to our skin so that we do not get invasion or invaded by the bacteria or infected by these microorganisms. Now, even this, just the skin alone, the simple process or simple act of perspiration actually fulfills so many functions in protecting our body. So when a person has difficulty or has problem in perspiration, that is a sign that the body is actually accumulating acidic wastes, and eventually there will be health conditions or problems surface. Okay. Now, exercise, doing exercise or sports actually makes us perspire, and that can result in the disposal of acidic waste. That's why health professionals or health consultants always advise us to have regular exercise in order to stay healthy. Now, exercise, but do note that when we do exercise, it actually produces more acidic waste than when you're not doing exercise. And these acidic waste, the large amount of acidic waste, actually make our blood more acidic almost instantaneously. And that's the reason we feel tired. Okay. Now, it is very important. The next point is very important. Proper rest and adequate water replenishment after exercise will help the body get rid of more acidic wastes. Okay, exercise is good if you accompany it with enough rest and replenish the water that are lost through sweat or through perspiration. Okay, so exercise without proper or good rest and water replenishment actually accumulates more acidic waste such as lactic acid and acetic acid. Now these two acids are actually produced in the absence of oxygen when we burn the carbohydrates, okay? Because when you do vigorous exercise or when you are panting for air, there is lack of oxygen in the body, and that leads to burning of nutrients without sufficient oxygen, and that will produce lactic acid and acetic acid, and these are acidic wastes that we need to remove from the body. But when we rest or have proper sleep, our body actually remove wastes faster than the body can generate wastes. We still generate waste when we rest and sleep, but the amount is minimal compared to the rate at which the body gets rid of the wastes. When you sleep or rest and wake up, you actually feel fresh because during sleep or during rest, the acidic waste are removed. And because of the removal of the acidic waste, the blood pH is actually restored back to its slight alkalinity, which is around 7.36 or 35 to 7.45. So because of the increase in alkalinity of the blood pH or restoration of the blood pH to slight alkaline, there is an increase in oxygen content in the blood, and therefore your cells also get more oxygen, and that's why we feel fresh. Now, sleep or rest allows the body to do its job, and what it does is actually it converts all this acidic waste to a form or to a format where they can be safely removed from the body. So actually what happens is when we rest or sleep, our blood is actually neutralizing all these harmful acidic wastes. And when they are neutralized, okay, the neutralized wastes are normally in the form of salts, okay, these salts are neutrals. They are then transported to the kidney, okay, where they will be discarded harmlessly in the form of liquid as urine, okay. Now the carbonic acids, which is also produced when the acidic wastes are neutralized, they are then transported to the lung. The lung will then take out the carbon dioxide, because carbonic acid is H2CO3, okay? So this carbonic acid is what we call is volatile, meaning it can split into water and carbon dioxide. When it reaches the lung actually breathes out the carbon dioxide and the water will remain behind. So this is how the lung helps in removal of the acidic wastes. Okay, so the acidic wastes are converted to actually volatile or carbonic acids, which can be split into water and carbon dioxide, and the lung plays its role in extracting the carbon dioxide and expel it out through breathing. Now that is why we tend to breathe deeply during vigorous exercise or quality sleep, and sometimes you realize yourself to snore because of overtired. We always say that we are extremely tired and we snore, and we can actually hear deep breathing, when you actually after the exercise or you're extremely tired. And a deep breathing is actually a sign of removing the carbon dioxide from the carbonic acids, which is one of the ways the body removes the acidic wastes. Now, acidic waste conversion in the blood. We talk about how the blood can neutralize this acidic waste. Everything that enters the body when we eat food or whatever, that it goes through the gastrointestinal tract, and when it reaches the intestine, whatever that can go in the body will go in through the intestine or some other pathway, such as the bowel chylomicron pathway, which is a bit technical, it doesn't matter. Let's assume that the substances that can be absorbed by the body will enter through the intestines, and all this will enter into the blood. Okay. Now, blood is actually the medium or the channel where substances are brought to the cells, and it's also the channel where waste or substances exit from the cell, are brought out, are removed from the cells. Okay, so blood is very important. But in order for the blood to transport these substances, whether it's nutrients inside or waste material that comes out, it must be in a dissolved state or in a liquid state. So only in the liquid state or in the liquid form can these waste be transported to the kidney and as well as the lung. That's why the carbonic acid is actually in a liquid form. So also the salts, the neutralized salts. Now our blood pH, as we mentioned just now, is known to be around 7.35 to about 7.45. And it's stabilized around the pH range for a reason. It's because of the alkaline minerals in the bloodstream. Alkaline minerals such as calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium inside the blood plasma. Now, if the body is lacking in these alkaline minerals, or the alkaline minerals are not there, then the body is in trouble. Why? In research, they also know that cancer patients, if you measure the blood pH, they are normally around acidic pH of around 5. Okay, because I think in previous video and article we did mention that when the pH of a solution of water or the blood is acidic, there is actually a decrease in the concentration of oxygen. And a Nobel Prize winner, I forgot the name of the doctor, many years ago, he proved that cancer only exists in oxygen-free environment, and in an acidic environment the oxygen content reduced drastically, and that's why cancer cell developed. Actually, cancer cells is from normal cells, and normal cells actually mutated or transformed into a cancer cell for survival, but that survival leads to cells that damage the body eventually. Now, our blood actually has the ability to respond and to prevent, prevents the blood from, sudden increase in acidity or reduce of the pH. Okay, and this is through blood buffers, what we call blood buffers, things like sodium bicarbonate and sodium phosphates. Okay, now what these blood buffers do is actually they're actually alkaline compounds. They will neutralize the acidic waste or compounds and convert them into neutral salts and harmless or volatile acids, as we mentioned earlier. However, when you consistently overload your body with too much acids, stuff or substance of food, and the blood is also overburdened in trying to neutralize these acids. Under this type of circumstances, some of the acidic waste and weakly acidic waste will stay behind, and eventually they will cause health problems in the long run. Now, as mentioned, blood actually has the ability to deal with sudden increase in acidity, because if a pH of the blood suddenly drop, it can really cause very traumatic condition to the body. Now, the blood can prevent that. What it does is converts the acids, okay, converts the sudden large amount of acids, okay, to insoluble solid acids. Okay, it becomes solid instead of converting it to liquid, because of the huge amount suddenly that comes in. The blood has to do something to save your body, to save the blood pH. Okay, some of these examples are they'll convert it to cholesterol and the uric acid crystals, and of course the problem that it causes, we'll address it in the next video. Now, the situation becomes worse when the body is lacking in alkaline minerals. Okay, then eventually over time, the blood will still convert it when it can, and before the body breakdown, is to convert it to these solid, insoluble solid acids, and it'll build up in the body, and eventually, it leads to all sorts of diseases and illnesses in the body. Okay, now thank you for taking the time to watch this second video. And we'll see you in the next video, which is the third in our series, and which is talking about acidic waste and diseases. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.